It's Christine of christine-gilmartin.com. Monday evening, very overcast. Our sunny weather lasted all week last week, which was amazing. And today it's not humid, but it's a bit cooler and cloudy. But we didn't have the torrential rain that they had down south. Now, tonight is a short video about cold calling. And I'll give you a bit of my background and how I became involved in cold calling. And we're going back to the 80s when cold calling was the in thing. And people didn't throw their toys out of the pram when they got a cold call, and they weren't really rude to you. But it just reminded me of how things have changed so much in the world, obviously with the internet and how people operate their businesses nowadays. And I'm talking about traditional businesses. Because back in the 80s, I worked in the bank. One of the banks at the time was Bank of Scotland. And we would do a bit of cold calling. But the cold calling were customers of the bank. And it was done between 9 o'clock in the morning till 5. Because that was the time we used to work in the good old days. You got customers who weren't interested. And the odd one would put the phone down you, and that was it. And I thought, we're now in the 21st century. So surely businesses don't do cold calling. Well, that's not the case, because last year I was involved in a business, and it was a startup business, and that's how they wanted to get their customers, cold calling. And I said to them at the time, but you want me to increase your customer base, and cold calling, in my opinion, is not the way to go. But I was told at the time, well, that's the way we're going, and that's what we want you to do, and we're paying you to do it, so you need to do it. So needless to say, that working relationship only lasted 3 months, and that was the end of that. But I knew in my heart of hearts that wasn't the way to go. Now, I'm working part-time at the moment, and I was approached by the company to get involved in face-to-face interviews with people. I thought, that'd be quite good. I've had many years of experience doing that. And I spoke to one of the managers today, and she says, yes, it's cold calling. And I thought, what? Cold calling? I said, is that the way? I said, how successful is that? She said, it's relatively successful. And what they give you is 200 addresses, and you go door to door. Yes, I said door to door. And I thought, no, I'm not going to anybody's door, and the funny thing was, she says you go to door, and you try and get an appointment with them where they will let you come into their house, a complete stranger, into their house, and you can sit with them for up to an hour, asking them questions about certain things that are going on in the world today. Now, and I thought, thinking if I was opening the door to a stranger wanting to come into my house for up to an hour, would I let them in? No, I wouldn't. So I thought, no, that's so not for me. I mean, that might have worked about in the 1980s, but it certainly doesn't work now in the 21st century. So it reminded me of a conversation Stuart also said when he started his franchise business. It was cold calling, and he was on the phone all the time, and he used to get panic attacks about it. And I think, oh my gosh, and this is one of the things that attracted me to work with the six-figure mentors to build my online business. There is no cold calling. We're in attraction marketing, where we attract people to us. And it's so much different when people are actually contacting us. And I get Skype messages, I get emails, and I get the odd voicemail asking me to contact them because they're interested in speaking to me about the business. And that takes so much pressure. So if anybody's sitting thinking about cold calling with your online business, think again. Cold calling is dead, and there are many, many books about cold calling and how it's dead now. But I'm afraid to say, in the traditional world, they still do it. And I'm just thinking of all the time and money. I remember when I started working with this company for 3 months last year, and they said, I want you to phone all these people. And I made 500 phone calls. Now, I've been used to being on the phone talking to customers and talking to clients and businesses, and people at all different levels, from managing directors to financial directors to CEOs, blah, 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 all the way down to them, the people that do the mail department. So I can adapt to my audience. But honestly, about 500 or 600 phone calls, and I managed to get one appointment, which went ahead, and that was all good. But I was on the phone constantly for 5 hours a day, 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I was doing that over and over again. And they thought it was great. I got an appointment, but it was really stressful to a certain extent. And you need to have a bit of a thick vest on because of the amount of rejection you get. but it's not the way to live, and it's not the way to do things in the 21st century. So if anybody's thinking about starting their business online and are a bit concerned that you'd have to do that, you don't have to do that with the Six Figure Mentors. Six Figure Mentors teaches you how to market online. This is the 21st century, as I say, and you attract people, you attract like-minded people, you attract people who have the same kind of interests, that want to start a business online, don't want to get out of the rat race, or maybe some people just want to earn extra income and still keep the day job while they can. That's absolutely fine, but you do not have to pick up the phone and speak to anybody. Now, you can if you want, but the choice is yours, because the Six Figure Mentors have a fantastic team of staff in London and New York and Miami that pick up the phone and speak to customers on your behalf, and they find out what the customer wants. And then if the customer wants to get involved, then that's fine. They speak to the customer. If they don't, it's not a problem at all. Those days are gone for you in the digital world, because you don't have to do that now. And that was one of the things I thought, whoopie doos, I'm getting involved, because I could do that, but I don't want to do that. I thought, gosh, no. That's my little rant over for today. I'm now going back into the house because it's starting to rain, as it always does in Edinburgh. Take care. And just to let you know, my laptop is out of bounds at the moment. It went to, was getting the fan replaced, and I only had the fan replaced 12 weeks ago, and now it's knackered. So they've taken it back, and it was supposed to get back today, and I phoned them. They said, no, it'll be now Friday. So I'm without a laptop at the moment. And there's only so much of things you can do your mobile, but at least I can make videos to you guys. So that's it for now. This is Christine from christine-gilmartin.com. And anybody wants to ask me a question, just email me on info@christine-gilmartin.com. Alternatively, you can Skype me on christine.gilmartin, and you can add me to your list, and I'll add you to mine, and we can have a chat. Okay, that's it for now. Over and out.